Jesus came from a meeting that me and Rick Beckley were praying on a Monday afternoon, and we were just talking about how we could get something that would reproduce a camp-like environment for adults. And we talked about a length of time, and you can't get people away from their jobs for a week. And so then we just started brainstorming and thought of a weekend retreat where we could get people away from the world for just about 48 hours or so and see what God would do with that time. So far we've done 2 for the men and 2 weekend retreats for women. And both of them have been successful in my estimation for a number of reasons. But number one, prayer. People prayed together that we're going to serve on the team from our church. And so I watched as 15 guys would meet every Saturday just to pray for people that didn't even know who were going to come. And out of that, it was no surprise when God did some amazing things because people got on their knees and cried out and asked for it to happen. Second of all, I think it's important that the time away from the rest of the world so that their ears are open to hear something. And we don't have professional speakers. We just have our guys at church and a few preachers that we called upon that would speak and give a short message. And a short message from a preacher, that's amazing that it works. But it was just awesome. And guys' hearts were changed, and people made decisions and have remained faithful from those. Well, first of all, a preacher needs to go. If you'll go and you'll see it, God will open up your eyes to know how it can help someone else. Then people who have been saved for any length of time, it's just a neat experience to get away from the world and have that youth camp-like environment in a shorter period of time. And of course, people who aren't saved, man, if you can get a friend or new to the church, man, that's a great bonding time to get to know some of the existing men of the church or women for whatever weekend it is, and it just bonds and unites some people that would not have that time to have fellowship in a longer term capacity. And so it's good for anyone, but I'd urge a preacher to go. I looked forward to going, and I was able just to be in the sidelines most of the first weekend that I went, and it was great. I said I've seen the camaraderie between the men that have went on it. These are good guys already, but now they had more purpose and something that I wasn't necessarily leading, but yet just watching them serve together and be sacrificial in their service to God. The families that went, the people that have went have grown immensely. I'm thinking of a couple of fellows that just went this last January, and before they were marginal church members, and now they're every service church members and serving in capacities. So, and they just said that it just kind of revived them and made them get serious about serving Jesus. So that's just a couple of things. We've had people saved. We've had families added to church just from the few events that we've done. But even just for our own church people that served in it, it's been awesome.
Journey with Jesus is a weekend together for men, and then there's also a weekend for the women. But with the men, we get together. There's 12 talks, 7 lay people, and 5 pastoral talks. And there's also special events, a special bonding that happens during that weekend. No matter how long you've been on your journey, your own personal journey with Jesus, it's something that it gets him into focus that he needs to be. I know I heard a statement at the most recent one we went on. We had a lot of people a lot of times we think we have Jesus right here, but it takes a weekend like that to realize that he may be missing from here. And that's what Journey with Jesus does, is make sure you've got it right here. And you become a seasoned Christian, sometimes you think you've got it all and you know it all. And we just get, and that's kind of a lazy attitude about it sometimes. And then we got to realize we don't know it all. And also when you get together on a weekend like that as a seasoned Christian, as you gather around the table and talk with some of the people at your table, with the men, you have come across things in your experience in life that you may be able to help them, because now they're going through that same type of ordeal or same type of trouble, or things that have been thrown in their path, in their journey. And you can talk and relate with those different people as you go throughout that weekend. but it's a time of bonding. It's a time of getting together, and it's a time to really focus in on your relationship with God. You know, and that's the big thing. Is you've got time in prayer. Prayer, you realize, is the most important thing in a lot of things that we do. And you focus in on the prayer and your prayer time and your silent time. You have these talks and you draw upon, and everything builds upon everything until the moment that you leave.
I got saved in October of 2015 at a play that we had here at the church, Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flame. It just touched my heart, and it pulled me to go to the altar, and at the time I was the only one in the family saved.
I got saved March 14th of 2016. Just a random Monday night on visitation. Jareth and PT came to our house and had about a 2-hour talk, and that was it.
What made me decide to go on Journey with Jesus was the men's testimonies. I was that person who would sit in church and come when I wanted to, and mostly it was on Sunday evenings. And I heard the men talk and their experiences there. I just could not deny what God was doing in my heart and the pull he had on me to go. So I asked Brian if he could take over the kids for a few days, and everybody said, if you need help, we're here to help. That's why we're here. And everyone stepped up so that I was able to leave.
I'd say a lot of the reason was from Joy's experience, and I had plenty of time to think about it because I got saved not too long after last year's Journey with Jesus was over, and just the testimonies, but just how much she grew from it and got out of it. That was, I'd say, a good portion of why I went.
I would say if I could use any word for Journey with Jesus, it would be surrender. I surrendered my self to God there, and I was saved, but I was kind of just doing my own thing in church. I was going when I wanted, like I said, however much I wanted. No one else in my family was coming, and I went to the altar at Journey with Jesus and just poured my heart out to God and asked him, to fully make me who he wanted me to be. And by doing that and by surrendering, I think it led my husband to salvation. He saw the change in me. And then a few weeks later, my children got saved because he started coming to church, and they had no choice but to come to church. So I would definitely say that's where my life changed. And I was that person who was sitting in the audience at church and would come sit down and shake hands with a few people, but they'd be strangers. And I really built friendships there. I started loving people in 48 hours that I had never known before that 48 hours. And it was a genuine love, and I still feel it. It's affected my life and my serving. I am a faithful servant for God and in this church. And I think I would not have done those changes in my life had Journey with Jesus not existed.
I guess I should say when I was going into it that in my head I felt that I was doing as much as possible, being involved, but it made me realize that there's always more you can do, whether it be Bible studies or witnessing or anything like that. But it was just good to have that time away from distractions and cell phones and just constant electronics and stuff like that. And it's just change. You never know who you're gonna meet and have that time. People that you sit in the same aisle out at church that you shake their hands. You actually get it's just, hey, how you doing? But you have that time to get away and actually learn about their lives and grow closer to them, and then you have that closeness throughout the year, until the next journey with Jesus. And it's just it changed me in that way that it, I guess, charged me back up as far as knowing that there's always more that you can do.
I think that Journey with Jesus is for everybody in the church, whether you've been saved and coming to church all your life, if you were born and raised in church, or if you are new. those new people need the experienced Christians, and the experienced Christians actually grow from the new people. This year I was a team leader, and one of the faithful servants, actually our youth leader's mother-in-law, she directed me full on and just said, I did not know you were so new, because I can see what God's done in your life. And I kind of need that encouragement from the older women in the church, and I'm sure the newly saved men need it from the elders of the church. And so I think that it can impact you whether you've gone to church your whole life and you think you're doing everything right. But by doing everything right is by leading the younger ones. And so Titus talks about that. I just think that it's for everybody, and you're really missing out if you don't go.